All right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Boogie Down Bronx, Queens, on Staten Island, my homeborough, Brooklyn. Back out with another video. It's been a while since I've updated the Greatest of All Time series. Last time I did it was in September of 2021, and I did that video on the 1995 Nebraska Cornhuskers football team. So it's been well over a year since I've updated this series. And the last time I did it on a rapper, it was a three-part series on Mr. Tupac Shakur. But now I'm back at it with another entry to the Greatest of All Time series. This one's going to be on legendary down south rap duo Underground Kings, a.k.a. UGK. You know, UGK to me is one of the most influential southern rap acts in the history of hip-hop. You know, their biggest contribution to hip-hop and their legacy overall to me is they introduced the world to what we call trap music. I know that may be controversial, but UGK was doing trap music way back in the early 90s. Trap music to me comes from Texas and Memphis, you know, UGK and also 8-Ball and MJG out of Memphis. You know, that may be controversial, but I did a video, I kind of touched on it in a video I did a long time ago called The Truth About Atlanta Hip Hop. Put a link to it in the description down below. But you know, that's UGK's overall legacy. They introduced the trap music. Okay? But anyway, let's get into this video. Of course, UGK was formed in the late 1980s by Port Arthur, Texas natives Chad Lamont Butler and Bernard Freeman, a.k.a. Pimp C and Bun B. That's Pimp C standing up with the Mighty Ducks jersey on. That's Bun B squatting down in the Astros hat. You know, these two linked up and they released two EPs in early 1982 called Band. One called Band, the other one called The Southern Way, before releasing their major label debut album, Too Hard to Swallow, in November of 1992. So happy belated 30th anniversary to Too Hard to Swallow. This album was critically acclaimed. They even had classic tracks such as Pocket Full of Stones and Something Good, also the remix Something Good. Another song I like on this album is called Trill Ass Nigga. Okay? Next, in 1994, UGK released their second album, Super Tight, which had the classic track Front, Back, Side to Side, which of course samples Eazy-E's Boys in the Hood. Ride front and back and side to side, never let hoe ass niggas ride. The majority of this album, this entire album was produced by Pimp C. Some tracks were produced by Pimp C and DJ DMD. For all you don't know who he is, he's the one who produced that classic track, 25 Lighters. You know, 25 lighters on my dresser, yes sir. I got to get paid by Lil Kiki and the late Fat Pat. Also, by the way, that line, 25 lighters on the dresser, yes sir, that comes from 8-Ball and MJG. MJG said it on a song they did on their Space Age Pimpin' album. I think the song was called All in My Mind or something like that. Next, UGK released their album, to me, their magnum opus, Riding Dirty, in 1996. And I did a video on that a long time ago, 1996 being perhaps the greatest year in the history of hip-hop. All the legendary rappers who released their classic, influential albums. You know, like I said, you can check out that video, put a link to it. But like I said, to me, this is UGK's magnum opus. This is their best album. I love this album from the first track to the last one. I just love it. The production was great. And, you know, the songs, Diamonds in Wood, Murder, and One Day. You know, Pimp C and Bun B snapped on those two songs, particularly Murder. Murder is perhaps my favorite UGK song. You know, I'm still a Pimp C, bitch, so what the fuck is up? Putting powder on the street because I got big fucking nuts. And then Bun B is one of the most underrated lyricists of all time. He's one of the best lyricists to come out of the South. What is Bun B, bitch, and I'm the kicking, moving chickens, I can finger licking, sicking niggas that be tricky. You need a swift kicking. Your ass is right for the picking. And, you know, Bun B bashfully boasted on the song Ain't That a Bitch from their Dirty Money album, which was released years down the line, get to that in a minute, that this album went gold with no video. Quite an accomplishment. After this, UGK took a hiatus from making their own music, and they went on a classic feature run. You know, their big break and their biggest hit to date, I believe, came with Jay-Z and his classic song Big Pimpin'. You know, we doing Big Pimpin' up in NYC. It's just a jigger man, Pimp C and B-U-M-B, nigga. Now, originally, Pimp C didn't want to do this song because Pimp C, you know, he looked up to Tupac and he had an allegiance to Tupac. And of course, anybody that Tupac didn't fuck with, Jay-Z being one of them, Pimp C didn't want to fuck with. You know, Jay-Z was one of Tupac's enemies. Because, of course, as you know, Jay-Z was lined with Biggie. And apparently a lot of people in Texas have connections to California. A lot of people from Cali, you know, either move to Texas and vice versa. A lot of people from Texas move to Cali. You know, you can kind of hear that in the 90s Texas rap scene. You kind of hear that West Coast influence. But, matter of fact, the DOC is straight out of Dallas, and he got his start through NWA. But, so Pimp C didn't want to do it, but Bun B convinced him to do it. And Pimp C had a short verse, but It was a short verse, but it was a classic verse. Smoking out, pouring up, putting lean up in my cup. All my cars got leather and wood. In my hood, we call it buck. Everybody want a ball. Holla at broads at the mall. Excuse me, but this was UGK's big break. This put him on the National Hip Hop Mac, and then another feature on another classic rap track called "Sippin' on Scissor" by 3 6 Mafia. This is on their classic "When the Smoke Clears" 66-61 album. And this put UGK on the National Hip Hop Mac, back-to-back features from the biggest artists in the game, Jay-Z, and then the fellow legendary down south rap group 3 6 Mafia. In 2001, UGK released their album "Dirty Money," but to little fanfare. The record label they were signed to, Jive Records at the time, failed to capitalize on the newfound interest amongst hip hop fans for UGK. But so this album wasn't a bad album. Like I said, the song "Ain't That a Bitch." No, you gotta listen to that song on YouTube because the censored version is whack juice. But go listen to the dirty version on YouTube. But in 2002, Pimp C got locked up for aggravated gun assault charges. He was sentenced up to 8 years in prison. But he was released on parole in 2005. In 2005, Bun B released his classic album Trill. And during this time when Pimp C was locked up, Bun B went on a feature run, and every song he was featured on, he would shout out Free Pimp C, notably on the Jeezy song Trap or Die. He's like, UGK for life, free the pimp, the deal in PAT. It's Trap or Die, and we ain't down for getting killed. and Pimp C released, and when he got out, he released his solo debut album, Sweet James Jones Stories. In 2006, he released Pimpilation. But UGK reunited to release some probably say their best album. To me, I say Riding Dirty, but that's whatever. Underground Kings. It was a double LP. Now, y'all know me. I'm not really a fan of double LPs. Personally, I think they're too long, and I lose interest after a while. But I did listen to this fully. And this album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 200 thanks to the release of the classic song International Players Anthem, which was produced by 3 6 Mafia's Juicy J and DJ Paul, and featured fellow down south hip-hop legends Outkast, Andre 3000, and Big Boy. Because of the success of the song Underground Kings album debuted at number 1. And UGK great things were ahead for UGK, but sadly it wasn't. On December 4, 2007, Pimp C was found dead in his hotel room in West Hollywood in California. He was out there performing with Too Short and supposedly working on new music, where somebody knocked on the door, got in the room, and found Pimp C dead on the floor. And according to DJ Paul 3 6 Mafia, a person described Pimp C to him as on the floor, blood was everywhere, and he was on his knees, his hands on knees, like he was praying or something. So people assumed he was shot dead, but turns out he overdosed on drugs. Long live the pimp. In 2009, Bun B completed and released UGK's final album, UGK for Life, which was met with critical acclaim. The last UGK album. Now let's review. Let's look at UGK's legacy. UGK, like I said, they're one of the greatest Southern rap acts of all time, one of the most influential. They influenced future down south rap legends to come, such as T.I., the quote-unquote king of the South, and self-proclaimed UGK alumni. He said that on a song he did called Front and Back, which was released Front and Back, which samples UGK's Front and Back side to side, and featured UGK, Pimp C, and Bun B. Also, Gucci Mane, another guy who claims to invent trap music. Gucci Mane stated in an interview that UGK was his favorite rap group. Pimp C also put on Boosie and Lil Webby, and I feel like Pimp C was still alive, Boosie and Webby wouldn't have had the issues that they've had. Of course, one of the most notable students of the UGK style is Megan Thee Stallion, who named her EP Tina Snow, which was a reference to Pimp C. Pimp C, one of his alter egos was Tony Snow. Megan Thee Stallion out here stealing Pimp C swag. I'm just playing, but I'm saying. Also, they influenced fellow Texas natives Paul Wall, Chamillionaire, and Slim Thug, and also Lil Flip. Now, Pimp C had a song called "Knocking Those Down," when he addressed, Paul Wall and Chamillionaire's beef that was going on at the time. He also addressed T.I. and Lil Flip's beef that was going on at the time. But their influence isn't just strict to the South. They influenced New York artist A$AP Rocky. who released his album Purple Swag. He also influenced Drake, who released a song called Underground Kings, reference to UGK. And also, Drake was featured on a posthumous Pimp C album called The Naked Soul of Sweet James Jones, a song called What Up. I'm an honorary resident in UGK town. What up? What up? H-Town in this bitch. What up? But like I said, man, that's UGK's legacy. They influenced many top rappers that came after them, Chamillionaire, to T.I., to Gucci Mane, to Meg Thee Stallion, to Drake. To me, that's the legacy in hip-hop is they gave us trap music. And, of course, the trap music you will hear back in the early 90s is not the trap music you hear today because music, of course, evolves over time. And, of course, Atlanta added their own little spice to it. But if you ask me where the trap music come from, I'm going to say Texas. It came from Texas and Memphis, UGK and a ball named JG. Now, to me, UGK has, I'll say 3 classics. I'll give Too Hard to Swallow classic, Riding Dirty, and Underground Kings. I'll give those classic titles. Whereas, you're welcome to disagree with me in the comment section down below, but I'd say those were classics. So 3 classic albums. They put Port Arthur, Texas on the map. They helped further putting Houston on the national map. People forget this, but for a while in the early 2000s, I'd say like from 04 to like 06, Houston was the top rap scene in the South, not Atlanta. Houston was the top rap scene. You had thanks to Slim Thug and Paul Wall, Chamillionaire, and Mike Jones. Still tipping on fofos. People forget, but Houston was the top rap scene for a while, and it kind of went away because a lot of guys started beefing and they kept rapping about the same shit. Their cars, their money, their chains, selling dope, stuff like that. And Pimp C actually stated that in an interview, a kind of infamous interview when he said Atlanta's not really the South and so on and so forth. But like I said, they had 3 classic albums. They influenced numerous artists that came after them. One of the most influential rap duos of all time. Do you think UGK is the greatest rap duo of all time? Personally, I'd say no. But if somebody would say they were, I wouldn't agree, but I necessarily wouldn't argue with you because I can see that. But tell me, in the comment section down below, do you think UGK is the greatest rap duo ever? Do you think that they're the true kings of trap music? They're the real innovators of trap music? What's your favorite album of theirs? What's your favorite song of theirs? My favorite album, I'd say, is Riding Dirty. My favorite song, I'd say Murder, One Day, which is on the Riding Dirty album. International Players Anthem. Also another version of International Players Anthem that had 3 6 Mafia verses. I personally like that one better over the Outkast version, but that's just me. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Subscribe. Hopefully I'm going to go on YouTube. Join my Patreon. $5 versus everybody. I'm going to see you all.